This video is about lists in GUI4Sher. Now, a list in Python is in square brackets, so I can say my list is, and you can put various things, A to, it could have numbers, it can have letters, you could even put other lists or Python objects in it, but it's best not for this. For GUI, it's probably best to avoid that. So here we have A to Z, and that's a Python list. But if I want to create a list widget that shows this list, I say place list, and now I can put square brackets and write the list in, or I can use the variable. And I can name this list demo list. Now, lists take all of those fonts and colors and fills and so on. I'm going to use the defaults for now. Maybe I'll use a fairly large font. So let's see, font equals elephant 30. And now I can place demo list somewhere. And there you see A to Z. Now, the event when I click on a list is the select event. And so the the function that gets called from the clicks window is demo list select. Now, so we can do things with the list. Okay. So I can say when I click on something, I can add another copy to the end of the list. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is use the say command. You can't use print inside the clicks window, but you can use say, which works a lot like print, has most of the same parameters and everything. And I'm going to say you clicked on, I'm going to add to that demo list dot get selected. I think that's the name of the method. Now, if I change clicks, okay, and a good thing is, and this will tell the user selected, but they selected. Let's be politically correct. Now, click. Now, if I did this right, if I click on Z, I always forget. It's just selected, not get selected. So you see, it told me get selected doesn't work. So now if I change clicks and I click on Z, it says you clicked on Z. On A, it says you clicked on A. Now, I can change the color. I can give it a color argument, color equals something to change the color, but I'm perfectly happy with the default color now, which is brown. Now, I can also change the list. So I can say, when I click on something, I can also add it to the end of the list. I can say demo list dot add demo list dot selected. And if I remember my methods right, do I have everything? Yeah, that's the right number of parentheses to change clicks. Now, when I click on something like 2, it gets upset with me. I have to make sure 2 is an integer. It only wants to add strings. So let me tell it, say, make it a string. So you see it threw an error message. Oops. And now if I click on Z, it not only clicked on Z, but it added an extra Z to the bottom of the list. You see there's a scroll bar. It won't change the amount it shows. I click on A, it adds an A to the bottom of the list. And now if I click on 2, it's still being annoying. All right, I'm going to ignore that for now. Sometimes putting numbers in the list does strange things. But in any case, okay, we can also do things like use this to teach them about iterations. So we can say for letter in demo list. Now, I can't talk about letters in demo list because that's a picture of a list. I have to say get list. So I can talk about 4 letter and get a list. I can say, and I need a variable first. Number of A's starts at 0. A's. Okay. So I can go back in here. I do. Hit enter. And I say if letter equals A, number A's plus equals 1. We found an A. And then at the end, we can say to the user, there are plus number, change it to A's A's in the and if I got my programming right here, now if I click on, say, Z, not get list. It's not list, it's items. That's what I called it. Let me change that. Get items. Okay, so this is items. Now I change that back. And let's click on 2. Okay, it doesn't like that. Let's click on Z again. There are 2 A's in the list, but if I add a new A, now there are 3 A's in the list. If we scroll down, we see that there are 3 A's in the list. So we can teach about scrolling. And so the main thing is, so this is the list type. You can Of course, the list can interact with other widgets like text boxes and labels and so on. And you can teach iteration using the list type because event programming does not do iteration that much. But when you have a structure like this, you do it. And that is lists in GUI4Sher.